What?
The
What's not ready?
when the intro rolls, we're not gonna have any of the.
Oh.
Yeah, I can do that live.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Welcome to the WAN Show, guys.
From Japan show.
Yeah, the WAN from Japan. We're gonna have to be a little quiet today.
Because we're in the lobby.
Yeah, we're in the lobby of like the most kick-ass hotel ever, by the way.
This place is awesome.
This place is absolutely incredible.
It's great. They gave us kimono things. And
What
you're
is that
playing
music?
That's you.
What?
It plays here. It doesn't matter if it's muted or not.
Hey, shut up.
You have to pause it.
Jeez. So anyway, the thing behind us that you guys see is like this amazing little
Ginormous koi pond.
Yeah, there's like a huge koi
not
pond with like these salmon-sized fish and like this gorgeous like plant life and trees growing out of the cliff face and all kinds of cool stuff like that.
Cliff. Salmon-sized fish.
Salmon-sized. You know what? Okay. We're both pretty tired. Salmon-sized fish. The fish I caught was the size of a salmon, and it was a salmon. Was it a big salmon? I don't know.
Just an average salmon, I guess.
Average salmon, but it was delicious.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Okay, so we have topics.
We do?
Wait,
Oh,
do
yeah,
we?
we do have topics.
Yeah.
But like, okay, here, I'm gonna show this to you guys because this is straight up the most, like,
The best. Wow.
broken, no, that's last week.
Oh.
This is like the most broken, worthless WAN Show doc that we've ever had. It has literally no actual notes. It just has stuff that happened this week that neither Luke nor I has had any time to look at because I've been on vacation and he's been covering for me on vacation. And apparently Ghost is actually working on it right now, trying to fix it.
Yeah,
Ghost, there's no hope.
And it like won't matter because we suck right now.
Yeah, we're like, how much have you slept in the last like 4 days?
Oh. 4 days, probably 6 hours. Because it was 2 hours before I came on this trip.
And then I've had 2.3. I'm counting a hot dog as a third of a meal. So I've had 2.3 solid meals in the last
One of those
5
meals
days.
was like one of the most amazing things I've ever had, though.
Yeah,
But yes.
but included raw chicken.
Yes.
So
That was weird.
that was pretty bizarre. So I've been super sick, and so I haven't rested well either. So yeah, we're gonna like hang with you guys for a bit, and this is gonna be the WAN Show this week.
Welcome to the Tired Show from Japan.
And we have the Freshbooks thing sitting there this entire
Yeah.
time.
You know what? Freshbooks is cool, man. Whatever. We have topics.
We have right. Let's
We
roll
shouldn't
the
even.
intro.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I don't know if I fixed the audio or not.
It's like cutting out. It's weird.
Is it?
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre.
It's a new age thing. Oh, jeez. Alright, are you ready for this? Live scene editing.
No, don't do the live scene
No,
editing.
I got
That's
it.
stupid.
I got it.
That's not
Freshbooks.
even. Okay, that is one of them.
Freshbooks.
You did do that. Freshbooks,
Freshbooks.
Squarespace.
Squarespace. Linda.
No
I
big
did
deal.
I did it.
No big deal.
Yeah.
You got this.
Woo.
All right, guys. So you don't have. Oh wait, can you open Twitch chat and paste link? Paste links. Oh,
so
we're
tired
awful. They're asking us to get Ed and Taran on the show in Twitch chat.
Ed is. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. That's all I can say.
Okay, so
Oh no.
we were supposed to fly out of wherever we are back to Tokyo
At like 6 p.m.
at 6 p.m. Instead, we're trying to reschedule our flight at the airport in the morning. So we have to be at the airport at 6 a.m. So it is now almost 1 a.m. here.
We have to wake up at 4.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be
But
sweet.
what we were doing while we were here was actually pretty cool. So for those of
Yes.
you who don't know, we were sent to Japan by Logitech to take a look at the Omron factory. So everyone kind of knows Cherry, right? They make switches that go in keyboards. And it's slightly less common, I think, for people to know Omron, even though they're kind of like the mouse switch, like the mouse micro switch equivalent to Cherry. Like if it doesn't have Omron switches in the mouse, you might as well not bother. So Omron and Logitech partnered up over the course of 2.5 years to create the Romer G switches. And they're both so proud of what they've done that they invited us all the way out here to actually have a look at one of, well, actually both, but we only filmed one of them, but the production lines for every single Romer G switch that goes in, well, right now, the Logitech G910.
Yeah.
That's it. So that's what we did. We checked it out. I was amazed at how different the Japanese approach has been to the German approach.
Yeah.
And we'll give you guys more details in the actual video, but that's what we're doing here. So
I don't think, oh, here it is.
for now, I guess what I'll do is go ahead and kick off our first topic. So this week, apparently, the Apple Watch reviews landed. Actually, I did check out some of the reviews on the Apple Watch, and I guess the main summary here, so like some headlines. So Gizmodo says Apple Watch meta review, it's not perfect, but it's still something. The general consensus is it's first gen, and it's got some first gen sort of ness about it, but you know, it's a great start, or it's really cool, or I'd love to have one, or it's a fashion piece. And I kind of look at this and I go, how? Okay, now to be clear, I may end up eating these words because I haven't got one yet. I do plan to get one. I do plan to use it, and I do plan to give it a fair shake, because it's not like I just hate Apple or something. I really respect a lot of what they do, and I really like a lot of their products. But the Apple Watch, unless I am somehow a complete idiot and having a screen on your wrist that isn't on without a motion activation gesture, is asinine. And reading between the lines in a lot of these reviews, with pretty much everyone across the board going, it's first gen issues. There are some first gen things to work out. What that means is don't buy this.
Yeah.
Do not buy it.
Yeah.
That's a terrible, terrible idea. And if you buy it, you're basically dumb. Because what does first gen mean? It means beta. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not every first gen product has first gen issues. So when you say that, you're basically saying it's a bad, not finished product. And to me, it feels like an awful lot of sucking up is going on right now for the sake of making sure that you don't get taken off Apple's favored journalist list, because that list does exist.
Yeah.
We've never been on it, so we have absolutely nothing to lose.
We will never be on it.
I think all they have to do is watch this stream right now, and us ever being on it is a foregone conclusion.
No, I don't even have anything against Apple. We'll just never be able to be on it.
Yeah. We're just not cool enough, I think.
Not even just that, but like I think we're too objective.
I don't even think that's it, because
No, but like,
okay, Anantech was on it. They're objective.
But then it didn't Anand like
End up working there?
Yeah.
Yes. But that relationship came later. You know, he went from being a PC guy to buying a Mac and trying it out and falling in love with the experience for some reason. So that's fine. So
that's why we're not going to get for some reason. So maybe it's not because we're objective, it's because we're sassy.
It's 'cause so the Apple Watch reviews are here. There are some good things that came out of it. So some people are talking about how the functionality is great. how it, feels really good. The fit and finish is really nice. Having it on the wrist attracted a lot of attention, a lot of compliments.
Of course it did.
But I continue to have the same issue with any no. But I continue to have the same issue with No, I'm not gonna miss a beat. I'm not gonna let you screw me up. I continue to have the same issue with screens that are not always on and battery life that is just barely borderline. Like the funny thing is, one reviewer who gave a fairly overall positive sounding review said something along the lines of, I equate it to my experience with the first iPhone. And that raises a couple of alarm bells for me. Number one, the first iPhone was revolutionary, but wasn't actually a great phone by any stretch of the imagination. And number two is that if this is like the first iPhone to you, then have you even used another smartwatch? Because that was what was amazing about the first iPhone, was how different it was.
Yeah.
The Apple Watch is not fundamentally different from other smartwatches in the way that the iPhone was different from other phones at the time. So basically,
But dude, it's got that like menu with all the circles.
I know.
That's different.
Well, you could say stupid things
different.
like that about Android Wear too,
No.
and the associated devices.
No, that's no. This
Like-
is different.
You can like flip through the pages.
I don't know of any Android Wear watch that I could spend 10 grand on.
That's true.
It's
well,
different.
hold on. You could probably find a way. Like if you
It's like you dip an Android Wear watch in gold and be like, it is now 10 grand.
yeah, like if you put enough Swarovski crystals around it. I mean, Lord knows I've seen people do that with cell phone cases. So
So who knows?
it's probably possible to bedazzle something with $10,000 worth of Swarovski crystal. That needs to be a world record. Like, is there a world record for the most bedazzled thing? I think I saw an entire bedroom that was
Oh no.
that was like done up. Yeah. Is that what that thing was called? The bedazzler?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna look it up. Bedazzler. Yep. That was it. Oh man, that thing was amazing. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic here. The new MacBook
Wondering how
reviews are in.
inappropriate to get about the bedazzling. But it's all good.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about bedazzling that. This is another thing.
So
that-
isn't this the same conversation?
This is basically I just posted it.
Okay.
This is basically exactly the same conversation we just had,
Yeah.
except to a much greater degree, because I could make the argument that the Apple Watch is a justifiable product.
Yeah.
If you are an Apple iPhone user and you want a
stay in the
smartphone
ecosystem.
and you don't want a Pebble,
Yeah.
if all those things, then
You want a smart watch.
Apple Watch. If that as well, if also have $350 plus, then Apple smartwatch.
Yeah.
With the MacBook, I fail to understand how Apple is receiving positive reviews for this thing.
Yeah.
And I even skimmed through a few of the reviews and I found things like, well, a lot of the complaints about the new MacBook, like not having enough ports, are similar to complaints about the original MacBook Air and how it didn't have enough ports. So it's good. Well, actually, the original MacBook Air was a slow-ass dog with not enough ports. And that never changed.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great product.
Yeah.
It was revolutionary in that it was extremely thin. It was the first Ultrabook, like the first really good, super ultra-thin Ultrabook machine. But it wasn't a great computer. It had a fatal flaw that made people upgrade them pretty darn quickly. When's the last time you saw a Gen 1 Air? No. And so I've got
But dude, when he pulled it out of the notebook, not notebook.
the
mail sleeve
manila
thing?
sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's impressive.
It was.
Whereas the new MacBook is not enough thinner than an existing MacBook Air, cripples itself, and the big argument that I see supposed professional reviewers making are that it's fanless. It's as if the UX 305 doesn't exist. That's
There's
what
a
it
number
is,
of
right?
them.
That's the Asus one, right?
I don't know. There's Lenovo ones as well.
Fanless one?
Yeah.
Blah,
Or
blah,
I saw them at CES.
blah, 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 blah,
You're
blah.
on Japanese Google.
Yeah, Japanese Google. Well, I'm
Just
boned.
type google.ca and then do it.
No, that's the new one. Yeah. It's as if the UX 305 doesn't exist. I mean, it's the same fundamental hardware idea where you've got what is essentially a tablet on an extremely small PCB inside a laptop chassis, and then the rest of it filled with battery, and it's fanless because it's extremely low power. And so I see the same thing being done. Oh, it's first gen, but it's good. Is it first gen or is it good? Because it doesn't have any ports, it's not very fast, and it's extremely expensive. So you pay the early adopter tax. That's not the kind of thing that normally gets a glowing recommendation.
No. Yeah, like I'm fairly notorious for early adopter tax on certain things.
Yep, I've done it.
Oculus and whatnot. But at the same time, every single time I've done it, I've recommended that people did not do it.
So
It's
I
like,
just...
this is probably not a good idea. Don't do this. It won't retain value. It's blah, 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 blah.
And you know what? I saw a couple reviewers who managed to say, I like it. I've got someone saying, stop talking about Apple. No one cares. Actually, you're objectively wrong. So anyway, I've had some reviewers saying, because, okay, hold on. Let's back up for a second. The reason we're talking about this is not because this is ground we haven't covered, and not because the Apple Watch or the MacBook, the new one, are particularly interesting products to me personally, but because it's in much the same way that for all the negativity that came along with it, Gamergate was supposed to be about exposing the problems with gaming journalism. Here, I see a big problem with tech journalism, where you have to really read between the lines to find out what the reviewer actually thought of the product. Where they're saying, it's good, it's first gen, it's expensive. Which one is it? It's either good and you should buy it, or it's first gen and it's expensive and you probably shouldn't buy it. You should probably wait a little while. So to me, it's a big problem. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, though. Not that I'm giving into pressure. Netflix can now ban VPN users with updated terms and conditions.
No.
You didn't even know this yet, did you?
No.
Yep.
No.
So there you go. It turns out that just like other competing services that have gotten more serious about blocking international users from using the US service,
So annoying.
Netflix is cracking down on it. I mean,
There's like half the stuff on the Canadian Netflix.
I know.
Like actually, there's way less.
Canadian Netflix sucks.
Yeah, it does.
But the reason that Netflix has to do this,
I know the reason.
and I know you know, I'm telling you because you're my co-host, not
We've-
because I think you don't know.
Not that we shouldn't cover it again. The only reason why I said I know is because we've covered this
I know.
4 or 5 times.
But it's because Netflix has to protect their ability to even negotiate content deals with the IP owners.
And the thing is, even if it's the same movie, the second you go across borders, there's different people controlling it.
That's right, and there's different agreements in place. Like,
Yeah.
for example, let's say movie X, okay? Maybe in America it's on Netflix, maybe in Canada it hasn't made it that far down the price chain yet,
Yeah.
and it's still being shown on cable TV, for example. So that is why they actually have to enforce it, because if they don't enforce it, they're going to lose the content relationships that they have
Yeah.
in the territories where they're strong, like the US.
Yeah.
Now, for me personally, I see a future where this digital distribution is just worldwide and everyone can either suck it or, well, that's basically the only option.
The thing is,
But
they're going to run into the problem again of it's not easy enough, so people are just going to start pirating.
Well, no, that's exactly it. It has to be easy and it has to be global. But the problem is that the easy solution came along. So Netflix to me is kind of like the Steam of movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
And then all the other guys are going to kind of look at it, and we're seeing this already with services like Hulu.
Yeah.
All the other guys are going to look at it and go, oh, holy crap, that's really profitable. Maybe we should actually develop that business model. And so much like we're seeing with Origin and Uplay, we're going to see fragmentation to the point where instead of one service like Netflix, you're going to just have a Netflix and a Hulu and a Bulu and a Setflix and whatever all the different things end up being called. And once it's actually managed by the owner of the property, then they can wait for whatever global deals are in place now to gradually expire, and they can roll it out worldwide, because ultimately that's going to earn them more profit anyway.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that's going to motivate any of this, is looking at how successful Netflix has been and how they can cut middlemen out of the equation, and that's an excellent way to do it.
Like how HBO, what is it, HBO Go, or is it HBO something else?
I think it's Now.
Now, HBO Now,
Yeah,
sure.
something like
I think
that.
they're two different, I think they have both of them. I think they're two different things. But yeah, HBO isn't necessarily going to want to push all their stuff to Netflix, so they're going to have their own service. Super
Got people
annoying.
calling for Sexflix and Bulu.
Yeah, because you said Setflix.
Oh, I said Setflix. Whatever, I guess it's kind of quiet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be quiet, but I'm ending up getting louder and louder.
I know, I've noticed that.
I'm like an embarrassing person to be around.
You are. Much like Taran bringing water through security two times? Yeah, both times we went through security, brought water through, yeah.
That guy is such a caveman. It's just like you put him in any civilized
We were
sort of...
in the terminal to go to the plane, and he got like the lady that was serving us food to fill up his bottle with water. And I'm like, you're gonna just forget. And then he just forgot. And I was like, damn, dude, you didn't even take a drink from it at all. It's completely useless. Like, we were boarding in like half an hour. It's like, what? Oh, man.
Oh, I love that guy.
He's fantastic.
Dinner tonight was hilarious.
Oh
Like,
my God.
there was... Okay, I think probably the funniest part of it was, this is like we actually, Omron treated us to about the ballerest dinner I
As
think
you
I've...
can see behind us, this place is pretty nice.
Yeah, this place is incredible. We had dinner here at the restaurant in the hotel, and we had our own chef
Yeah.
who sat in a little room
Yeah.
next to the room where we ate and prepared the food as it was brought out. It was how many courses?
11.
11 courses.
Ridiculous.
We had 2 dedicated servers
Yeah.
in addition to the dedicated chef.
Yeah.
And all the food was like crazy.
Yeah.
But I laughed internally when one of our hosts told me that it was not going to have any seafood. Because the second I lifted they have these paper covers over your setting. The second I lifted it up, there was a roll
Yeah.
with sashimi wrapped around it.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, because I don't eat seafood. So throughout the course of the meal, how much seafood was there?
Not a ton, but there was seafood.
Well, there was the prawn tempura.
Yeah.
There
was
was
the sashimi thing.
there was the
And there was
sashimi thing.
more seafood. There was turtle or something.
Yeah, they wouldn't tell me what it was till I ate it.
Yeah, there wasn't much of it.
I was kind of sketch about that.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of it either.
What else was there?
There was little bits here and there.
I would count raw chicken as kind of more
As
hardcore than. Okay, it's not technically seafood.
Raw chicken, seafood. Yeah, seafood. Seafood.
Okay, it's not. Some of the stuff was like amazing though. Like I really loved these. They have these bizarro, not really candles, but like
Those are cool, yeah.
some kind of fuel that. Basically, what they do.
When you light it, the whole thing torches instead of just like a
Yeah,
little wick.
and then there's a metal bowl above it, and it's basically like pre-calibrated so that you get the right stick under it, and then the right amount of water and the right amount of food, and once the flame dies, the food is cooked. I was like, that's amazing. So they had like these soups, these broths that your meat would sit and cook in while you ate other things, and then once the flame died, you knew it was ready to eat. And so there was the steak was amazing.
Oh my god.
The beef, like the tender beef in the broth, was
Very good.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Linus was too sketched out to finish his raw chicken, because that is pretty sketchy.
That was a stroke of brilliance. I'll let you talk about your brilliance.
So we had like the hot pot thing that he's just talking about, when there was the beef and a few other things in it. It was like it was 11 freaking courses, and there was hot pot, so it wasn't like the most giant hot pot thing ever. But I took Linus's raw beef, which he had ditched onto Edzel, and Edzel had
Raw chicken.
Raw chicken, sorry.
Yep.
Which he had ditched onto Edzel, and then Edzel had in turn ditched it onto me, and I cooked it in the hot pot.
Stroke of genius.
It was a lot better. I wasn't into the raw chicken, I will admit.
The taste was fine, because like the outside
the
outside was kind of like cooked-ish. Like it was like blue steak.
I think they like dropped it and then immediately flipped it in a pan that was on low.
No, I think it was a little more than that.
Not much.
It was maybe a little more than blue steak.
Slightly, yeah, but it was not cooked.
But it was not
properly,
cooked.
Yeah.
Like it was not cooked.
Yeah.
And what they said was that at very high-end restaurants in Japan, it's okay to eat.
There's a bug. There's other stuff like that too, like the puffer fish. Or
You like the puffer
that you
fish?
can like die from if it's cooked improperly.
Yeah.
Oh wait, is that illegal now?
I'm not sure.
I think it might be. I don't know, but yeah, crazy stuff.
Yeah, anyway, so they claim that it's okay. So I did eat a piece, but the texture for me was just abominable. Like I could not eat it.
Yeah.
I just about horked all over all the table and made a total mess of everything, because that texture, like I don't eat raw fish either, so yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic.
Yeah.
Boom! LG may have accidentally leaked an upcoming 8K iMac.
What?
Dun dun dun! More Ks. Personally, I don't see it as incredibly unlikely.
No.
8K would be what? A little over double the pixels of 5K? Maybe quite a bit more than that, actually. Whatever, I haven't done
I'm
the
not
math,
gonna
so
right now.
I don't care.
It's not gonna happen.
The math is not happening at the moment. I'm sure someone will correct us in Twitch
Someone in the
chat.
Twitch chat will post exactly what it is.
Congratulations for using a calculator. But anyway, I don't see why they couldn't do it. They already created a custom interface for the 5K iMac, so they've shown that they're willing to do that. So just taking that modified display port and going even wider does nothing but add design complexity and product cost. Something Apple has shown in the past that they're willing to do, because they have an unlimited R&D budget and they have great margins. So if they spend because a lot of companies, if they spend another $3 on it, it like breaks their margins on that product. Whereas Apple, if they spend another $3 on it, they'll charge you another $100 and everything's fine. Everyone's happy. So
That's true.
Apple has confirmed nothing about this, but I guess that's cool. I'm personally not that super stoked on high-res displays past a point.
Yeah.
I think that moving to 4K is probably about as far as I'll need to go at any size lower than about 32 inches for
I hear you, and I know your arguments and all
a
that
long
kind of stuff,
time.
but you haven't seen an 8K screen.
I haven't seen an 8K screen, but what I have seen is a 5K screen from this close.
I know.
What I've also seen is the evolution of 1080p smartphones to 1440p smartphones and how little that mattered.
I know, I'm just saying.
So while it could be marginally better, looking at how one thing that Apple did extremely poorly on the 5K iMac is they equipped it with a GPU that's just plain not adequate. And I even ordered the beefier version with the R9 295X, the 8 gig card, versus the R9 290, and these are mobile, these are M cards, with 4 gigs of RAM, and that thing stuttered all over the place. So I don't know what GPU they would put in an 8K iMac that would fit within the thermal envelope, unless they're going back to NVIDIA. And they do that from time to time.
Yeah.
They do just...
They can swap, that's fine.
They just do whatever they
Yeah,
please.
Yeah. I don't know.
Got people asking for 1080K.
What?
What? I guess we should probably do sponsor spots.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the WAN Show today is brought to you by lynda.com. Lynda.com is the place to learn online. It's used by millions of people around the world with more than 3,000 courses available. You can learn things like web design.
Or Excel.
Yeah, or video production.
Or WordPress.
I should probably take some Lynda courses on video production. Then when those guys talk, it won't all just be completely over my head.
You know,
Probably still will be, because I think they do it on purpose sometimes.
So that it'll just like go away.
I'm pretty sure, because I'll ask about something or I'll say something, and
Well, I've caught them doing it to you before, because one of them was trying to make you think that it took like hours and hours to tween something in Flash. And I was like, no, it doesn't. I remember that. That was a long time ago. But yeah.
those buttheads. Anyway, so photography, visual design, business, all kinds of stuff like that, and all the courses are taught by industry experts. You can learn at your own pace, and it's extremely affordable at only $25 a month to start. But if you're not sure if lynda.com is right for you to advance your career or, you know, make new friends when you talk about cameras with people online, okay, that's a pretty unlikely scenario. The point is, if you're not sure if you're going to like it, you can try it out for free at whatever the link is.
Lynda.com.
You don't have the thing.
It's not on the thing.
Dang it,
I don't
Luke.
change scenes very well.
Lynda.com/WAN Show.
I'm really bad at changing scenes.
Right there. Yes, you are.
Here.
He was telling me that apparently while I was gone, he straight up just didn't
For,
show you
like,
guys the articles.
Super long periods of time.
Actually, no.
I'm tired. That actually made a help. Made a help.
Did that help
Apparently
wake
it
you
did
up?
not. I said made-a.
Made-a
So
help.
it's not doing. We're not doing good.
Made a help.
Okay.
It's just a
Next up,
Squarespace.
Squarespace. You can make a website even if you're super tired and can barely talk and say meta, because Squarespace is that easy.
Because you can apparently use Squarespace.
Yeah.
Yay!
It's simple, powerful, and beautiful.
They have 24/7 support via live chat, and they have templates that allow you to make sure that your website's going to work on a mobile phone, on a laptop, on a desktop, or, I mean, probably
all the
even on like a
things.
jumbotron.
Even like an
If you
8K
could-
iMac.
You know what we should do just to be like complete buttheads? Is we should like take.
Like go to a baseball game and like pay them to put Linus Media Group's website on the jumbotron.
Yeah, or something. Like we should find a way to find some completely stupid display and put our corporate website on it and see if it scales okay.
That'd be wonderful. We should try it.
I'm kind of tempted to do that.
That'd be pretty fun. Anyways, it's only $8 a month, and if you get a year of it, you get a free domain, which is pretty cool.
Which is like a sort of $13 value or so.
Yep. So if you go to squarespace.com and use offer code Linus, you can save 10%. So you can get a free domain and save 10% and get a year of Squarespace.
You know what we should totally do? Is we should turn offer codes into like a popularity contest. So they should use like offer code Linus if they like me better, and they should
Wow.
use offer code Luke. We should actually have 2 offer codes.
Wow.
That would be I would be really interested if we could get some stats from like Squarespace, if they were like, yeah, 30% of the people signed up with Linus and 70% of them went with Luke. Or we should have like I like LMG in general, but I hate both Luke and Linus. We should have like a third option. Like,
That would be wonderful, because knowing our guys, they'd all pick that one.
Squarespace.com/haterade.
And then there'd have to be one more that was just squarespace.com/bananas. So we can get like most of the votes anyways.
Right.
Yes.
So last one is Freshbooks. This is actually a
Yes.
relatively new sponsor for us in general. We've had them on Fast as Possible,
Yeah.
but I think we've only had them on the WAN Show once. So basically, it's a tool for small business owners. If you say, for example, you're like
An online tool.
yeah, an online
Helpful,
tool.
accessible in many places.
So not a hammer necessarily, unless
Yeah.
you had an online hammer,
Yeah.
like a band
Or
hammer.
unless you saved money using FreshBooks, because you're able to properly invoice people and get that and track that invoice.
And then you bought a
were
hammer.
able to buy a hammer.
With the time you saved or
And-
money you
and
made.
Money you made.
Okay, anyway, the point is, if you're a small business owner, like let's say for example you're a plumber, you can use your phone to go ahead and do things like log miles and log hours, so you can send out invoices easily to your clients. It's all easily payable by credit card for your clients, so it makes life a little bit easier for them. And let me tell you, as a small business owner, half of the battle getting a client to pay is making it easy for them. Like, if you want to do the, wire transfer, check, dance to, save $6 in bank fees here, or $20 in transfer fees there, or, in the case of my wife, $1.25 for a check here.
Yeah, we all have to drive to deposit our checks, which costs more than that. I think we've all collectively offered to have it deducted from our paychecks.
I think legally we can't do that.
Yep, so she won't.
Live with it. Anyway, the point is, if you check out freshbooks.com/WAN Show, you guys can try it out. It's extremely affordable, and it helps you manage both your time and your business better. So give it a shot, and
save your money and buy a hammer.
Save your money, save your time, and all of that good stuff.
And buy a hammer.
Buy a hammer?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to just say buy a hammer with the money you saved?
Yeah.
I guess so. We can give advice.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be good advice.
Hammers are legitimately useful tools.
I wonder how many... Let's do a straw poll.
How many of you own a hammer?
How many hammers do you own?
Oh.
Not how many of you own a hammer. Yeah.
Wow.
I want to know how many... I'm going to answer the straw poll,
two.
but I'm going to wait till people answer.
How many do you own?
I will have to think, because it depends on how you classify it. Is a sledgehammer a hammer?
Yeah.
Okay, is a rubber mallet a hammer?
Is a mallet a subsection of a hammer?
Well,
I'm pretty sure that's defined. I just don't know off the top of my head.
A meat tenderizer, I think, would be a mallet, but not a hammer.
Okay, so then no.
So then no. Okay. Is a hatchet a hammer?
Because you can use the back of it.
Because you can use it as a hammer.
I don't think so.
But it doesn't remove nails in the way that a hammer would.
But I could use my foot as a hammer, but my foot is not a hammer.
You can't use your foot as a hammer.
You could.
No.
You could.
That's stupid.
I have. I've used my palm as a hammer. There's a door in my place, and the doorknob is so loose that the not bolt, but the other thing that I can't think of right now because I'm tired, will slide out, and I have to get it back in so that I can actually close the door. So I just hammer it with my palm.
Okay.
My palm is a hammer.
So
We should probably talk about WAN Show topics.
Oh
and not
right,
just
yeah, WAN Show.
hammers.
Well, I think
Intel
that,
confirmed Skylake launch.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty important.
I think we knew this wasn't going to be a very good
WAN
WAN Show. Sleep deprived in the middle of nowhere.
This sounds like a horrible teen movie.
Sleep deprived and in the middle of nowhere, they decide to go off the trail into the cabin in the woods. And there's a koi pond, and it's quite wonderful, actually.
But there's a murderer, and they get picked off one by one.
Yeah.
And there's a chick with boobs.
Probably.
And for some reason, she's in the shower when every time someone attacks.
And then when she's running away, she could have actually totally gotten away, but she tripped.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which gave a really good opportunity for a slow-mo of her tripping.
You know what would be a really cool, you couldn't do it with a movie, something pre-recorded, but a really cool interactive storytelling concept, whether it was done with live actors or whether it was done with episodic gameplay.
Okay.
Is so the concept would be that the audience, because you know how you always regret not being able to give advice to the actors. Please don't open that door. Please don't come out of the safe room. You're in the safe room. Don't come out of the safe room. Just stay in there. What are they going to do to you in the safe room that they can't do to you when you come out of the safe room? It's obvious, right? So what if there was a concept where you could actually, everyone in the audience had a tablet or something.
So it's like Twitch Plays Pokemon, but with actors.
Yeah. So you could actually dictate the terms of the story, and they could have some preset branches, but it could actually play out a little bit different every night.
So it's like Twitch Plays Pokemon, but with actors, or Dungeons and Dragons, but not with dragons.
It's kind of like Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah.
So you know what the decision is, but you actually don't know what's going to happen until it happens. So I think that would be a lot of fun, like as a play concept, and then again as like an episodic gaming concept. So the developer might not.
Telltale Games Multiplayer Edition.
Hold on a second. This could be cool. So the game developer wouldn't necessarily just develop one path, but they could justify the expense of developing multiple paths by making it a microtransaction for you to try paths that you didn't choose. That is a business model.
Why did you just give people that idea?
Because it's really good? I don't
It's
know.
horrible.
That's a really good idea.
It's really expensive and a lot
no,
of
you-
microtransactions.
You don't have to pay every path.
Yeah, but then they're going to make you pay for any path, and it's going to be
Well,
ridiculous.
no, you buy the game, or, okay, you make it free to play, and you can play one path for free. I'd play the game once, and I'd do it my way.
Yeah.
I mean, it couldn't be quite like Choose Your Own Adventure, because I don't know if you read many of those, but basically, there was only one right path, usually, and then, like, every other path was, like, instant, your head got cut off, and alligators ate you. Like, it was
Do
just
you
stupid.
go left or right? Right, you trip, you die.
Yeah, pretty much.
Aw.
Whereas, like, you should have a guaranteed number of decisions. So you should be guaranteed a certain number of forks. And then, I mean, obviously, they can't develop, 350,000 forks. So if there was something extremely unpopular, they
They
could
could have
just
some
go,
sort of generating tool.
yeah, like, this didn't work. Not enough people chose this. Can you pick another one, or whatever else the case may be? But I think that would be really cool. And remember, this is something that wouldn't have to happen over the course of a normal sort of game time frame. It would be more like an episodic thing, so it could actually happen over the course of a couple of years or a few years, much like a TV show might take a long time for the story to develop. So gamers could actually play their way through the story in real time, and then maybe at the very end or something, you have the option to, buy an additional playthrough and you can play it completely differently or something like
Right,
that.
yeah. That's interesting. Rumor, XFX R9390 pictures. I'm just going to randomly say the titles of things, and then we can go back to going on tangents.
Right, I
so
guess I kind of hijacked that.
Are you completely ditching the live actor idea then, and just going with video game?
No, I like the live actor idea better. It just seems a little bit harder to execute and a
You
little
could
bit
just
less likely.
There's really good improv actors, like really, really good improv actors. And you could just throw curveballs at them.
Has anyone done this before? It seems like the kind of
I
thing that
feel
should
like
exist.
it's an improv thing.
But it
But
would
like
have
probably
to be...
not to the same degree, right? 'Cause
Yeah, like-
what you're talking about, like they'd have to have, in universities where there's that like, oh, well, you have to input your answer to the question that's on
Yeah.
the board, and you use the little white clicker. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
It would basically be like that.
Yeah.
So there would be options. So the actors would have some idea what's coming. But you know what? The director or the writer
Or they could not.
shake it up a bit.
If they're proper improv actors, they're gonna be able to react really well in situations.
But the thing about straight improv is that it doesn't have the production values
No.
of a proper play.
No.
Whereas what I kind of envision is a proper play where you dictate how it goes.
Wow. Okay.
I think that'd be really cool. Like, imagine like a murder mystery type play. Like, they already do murder mystery type stuff where like the audience has some interaction. But imagine one where like the murderer can kill everyone and get away with it because the audience chose all the wrong things for the actors to
Stay
do.
in the safe room, and then he just like closes off the air.
Or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really fun to watch.
It's interesting.
So this is like super rumor because WCCF Tech has actually updated the article in a very, very deceptive way. So they didn't actually manage to change their headline. All they did was add a note in the body of the article. So you have to actually read it in order to know that that's an R9380, which actually says absolutely nothing about new GPU development for AMD graphics cards, because the rumor on the street right now is that the R9380 is just an R9290, which means this is just a rebadged R9290.
Yes.
So the R&D that went into it was probably an updated BIOS and a new sticker design. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's about it.
I don't know.
So, oh, right, Skylake.
Yep.
We gotta close this off pretty soon because we really need to sleep at least a couple hours tonight.
We have 8 minutes.
We have 8 minutes. All right. Well then, let's talk.
The
Skylake.
LHC restarted. That was pretty interesting.
The what, sorry?
LHC, Large Hadron Collider.
Oh yeah. So for the first time in 2 years, the Large Hadron Collider has been fired up.
There was a Windows update.
Yep. No collisions, but things are moving. So that's cool.
There wasn't a Windows update.
There wasn't a Windows update? What are you talking about? 2 years? Oh, you're rude. Intel confirmed Skylake launch. It's coming in the second half of this year, so that means we're not going to get it at Computex,
Nope.
which is a little bit
I was kind of
unfortunate.
hoping for that.
I was kind of hoping for Skylake at Computex. I mean, the thing that you guys need to know about Skylake, though, is that it's not going to be like a benchmark crusher, like something like Conroe was, for example. It's going to be an incremental improvement. It's not DDR4 on the mainstream yet, so it's
Really?
going to use DDR3 and DDR3L. It's going to have 20 PCIe Gen 3 lanes, just like the existing Haswell E. It's going to have USB 3. One thing that I do expect to see with Skylake is support for PCI Express-based SSDs, so NVMe. Right now, there are very few motherboards that support Intel 750 series SSD that was launched recently. We actually have a video coming on it.
There's very few that support the 2.5-inch one.
The 2.5-inch one. The PCIe one that plugs into a PCIe slot is fine.
Very widely supported.
So I guess that's about all there is to say about that. We really appreciate you guys tuning in at this totally unusual time for the WAN Show. We were planning to stream the WAN Show at the normal time, but we had an opportunity to take an earlier flight back to Tokyo so we could hang out in Tokyo for the day instead of just seeing the airport. So we
That sounded like a really good idea.
kind of figured we'd go to Tokyo for the day
Yeah.
since we flew all the way here.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much it, guys.
Time to go sleep for
Good night.
2 hours.
Yeah, I'm gonna go hit the can because I still got a mad case of the traveler's
Oh, dang.
stomach thing going on,
Oh, jeez.
and like eating things that make me feel kind of gross doesn't help.
No, not at all.
Not helpful.
I'm probably going to hit my head on a few things and then fall over.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. His 6'3"-ness is so out of place here. like the
I have a few taller friends that would just be ruined here.
in the doorways
Ruined.
in our rooms here, which are awesome by the way, they're incredible.
Oh, yeah.
In the doorways of our room, like it's probably like to here. Like he's like this to get through. Awesome.
Yeah, I was crouching down picking something up and I like stood up and turned and whacked my head on one. And it hurt so bad. I've hit my head quite a few times when we've been here, but that one hurt.
Taran had a pretty good one too.
Yes, yeah. He crumpled a little bit. Yeah.
All right, good night, you guys, and we'll see you again next week.
We have to wait for it. Hold up. This is gonna be a little janky, but
I almost always do that too.
yeah, it's cool.
Oh, I never checked out the Strawpoll results. Wow.
4+ hammers.
Yeah, 43% of our audience owns 4 or more hammers.
I don't know if I believe that. But what I do believe in is lynda.com/WAN Show. Also, Squarespace.com, offer code Linus. Also, Freshbooks.com/WAN Show/WAN, not /WAN Show. Also, in the who sent us here thing, put WAN. Okay.
Good night, everyone.